This video contains subject matter that may be offensive and disturbing to some people. If you are the type to require a warning throughout a video or show, let this message serve as your warning. This channel discusses the harsh reality of true crime. If this warning is not sufficient for you, consider a different genre and unsubscribe from my channel immediately. Somehow that audio wasn't working there. Anyways, let's see. Yeah, how's everybody going? Doing today? Yeah. Hey, let me ask you guys something. Have you guys used the any of the other services like Twitch or anything, or is there any other good ones out there? I always feel like I'm walking on eggshells on YouTube. You know, always like, oh man, you know. No. Yeah. Well, I was just wondering if I was somewhere else, would you ever go watch me over there? I mean, it'd be exactly the same show. Unless it's sort of the YouTube thing that makes it interesting for you. Hey, thanks, Kathy Freudenmaker and Viv Photography. Yeah, well, I mean, but Lennon, that just means that you're not really, you know, you don't really like the show. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, Rumble, perhaps. Yeah. Yeah. Dead installment number 3. Wow. Well, thank you. And also thanks to Roger on PayPal earlier. Thank you very much. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I think I might go sign up and, you know, maybe you guys could go check it out over there sometime and see what the difference, you know, if there's any different. I haven't tried it or anything, but I don't think it's much different.
Debt installment 3.
Thanks, Callie Gal 3. Here comes the hug, everybody. Here comes the hug. Look at that was so weird, man. That was like the weirdest moment ever on my dogs. Yeah, cool. Yeah, but what difference does it make if it's here or not? See, here's the thing. I was always wondering about that. Like, what difference does it make? We're doing exactly the same thing. You know, like, what difference would it make? I don't know. Hold on a second. I get some water. you don't even get to hear the cool part of the song there. Yep, yeah, you like the animations. I don't know. You always get these, you know, you're never really sure what you can play or what you can play out in the media, you know. So anyways, just something. I was actually thinking of doing, I don't know, I have that other channel, Nefarious, out there too. I don't know. That's a cool channel. It only has 2 videos on it because I never continued putting anything on there. But I'm not sure what that means, Marty. Thanks, Terry Shaw and Bobby Smith. Isn't Twitch you just... Yeah, I don't know how it works either. Maybe Rumble or something like that. What do you mean it's another platform? Have you tried... What? I don't get it. Locals? It's called Locals? Oh, you like the yellow? Alright, cool. Yeah, it was Zena. Yeah, we brought that up the other day, Renee. About a week ago, we talked about Zena's mom. Yesterday, I accidentally thought it was saying Kaylee, but I meant Zena. That's what we talked about before. I think they do. That, you know, maybe we could just use PayPal or whatever. I don't know. It's just...
Gray, you're the goat of 3D images. All others are just imposters.
Yeah.
It's a house. House.
That's cool, Lennon. Thanks. Being Nancy. Thanks, Nancy, for being you.
Rumble, you don't get struck for what you say.
Alright. Yeah, just the fear of strikes and things are just like, you know, it's...
Put this on at JoJo's tab.
Will do, will do. Anyways, today I was going to cover... There's this crazy case where this police officer catfished somebody and then went over and killed all of them. Yeah, I think he went all the way from Virginia all the way to California, killed a whole family, and then, like, then he was killed himself by other officers. I mean, have you ever heard anything like that? Yeah. I think he was. That's what I was reading. There's a picture of him as one. Anyway, we're going to do that, and then 2 more of those cases related to Ralph. And then at the end, I was thinking maybe I did work on the 3D model more. As a matter of fact, it looks more like
this video.
Oops, sorry, this one. Hold on. Yeah, it actually looks like this now. It has the 3 windows up there, and these 2. And I don't have this little thing here yet, but. Yeah, I'm just trying to make the inside look smooth. And I worked on an animation today. If you want to see that, we could do that first. And then maybe you guys could come in and give your theory of what you think, how the person may have, what makes the most sense to you of how the person entered the home. And then I can come up with those and make animations and put them all in a video. Where it's sort of, you know, option 1, 2, 3, 4, something like that. Thanks, Maxine. Yeah, I think this is what I have so far on this one. So this is just manually doing it. You can't, dark right there for some reason, but well, I'll just play it. Here we go. It's kind of slow, actually. Goes up the stairs. Around. And this way into this room. This is Zaina and Ethan's room. Then exits. Takes it right, goes down that little tiny step that's down there. Then up to the 3rd floor here. And then take a left. Go into Kaylee and Maddie's room. And, you know, that's kind of where that one stopped. And then, of course, from there, you'd have to go back out, maybe to the 2nd floor, out on the... I can see there's a space right there that doesn't have a wall on it. I'll have to put something there. But, yeah, so there you go. So... that's where we're at on that one. And then you'd have one where they came through the sliding glass door on the 2nd floor, went up the little mini step, you know, and then these are the 2 downstairs roommates. That's where they live. I don't know. I was thinking of putting some, you know, somebody walking around. I don't know. It's hard. It's kind of sensationalistic to start putting like somebody walking around with a knife and that kind of thing. But, you know, yeah, I could have somebody walking in there, just representing where they would walk, and maybe moving around. I don't know. Seems like it just works pretty well with just like this. Or I could do one where the top's open and you see a character moving around in the house. But, you know, definitely have some still things to fix on it. So... yeah. I don't believe they didn't know there wasn't. God, that's like a quadruple negative. Hey Zoza, what's that mean? What does that even mean? What does that mean right there? I don't believe they didn't know there wasn't a lower level. Man, I have no idea what that means. That's a good one, though. That's a good one. It's a real head scratcher there. I don't know. Yeah, it's that's crazy. Don't know what that means. All right. So let's get on to the other stories. And right now we're on the 28th, so we've got tomorrow, and then we have our final donation night, and then we make the final donation. From the income from the channel, I make a final donation. You guys just help support the channel on the last day, more than normal, and then boom, we're done with the month, and hopefully we're way over $50,000. There's no way you understood what that meant. You think you know what it meant, but you don't. Good evening, all. Glad to make it in. All right. Glad to have you in here. And the number on the screen isn't working. That's not a good number, so don't try to call it. And I wouldn't answer anyways because I'm doing something else right now. What do you mean they've been trying to copy it? What do you mean, Patsy? They actually have a program that they're trying to make 3D models in, or what? Not sure what that means. Ray, do we know that Maddie slept in the same room? That's what people say, because Maddie didn't live there anymore, so probably had all of her stuff out of there, but had just recently lived there. So she probably just stayed in Maddie's room, right? I mean, we don't know some of this stuff. You know, we guessed maybe that Ethan was laying on the floor in the hallway, maybe, you know. Well, hell, you could, in here, you can see, well, it should be like, so when let's just pretend right here that this is right here is one of the roommates. This is their visual. They get up to go get some coffee up in the kitchen. They go up like this. They turn around, and right when they come around the corner, they see somebody lying on the ground right there, and they go, "Oh my God!" And then they basically go back down, you know. And it didn't look good. Hey, thanks so much, SV Kathy. Oh, and thank you too, Liz. Wow. What do you guys think about that? Right, and then she looks up there, somebody's on the ground. So what are they doing when you say they're trying to... There's somebody out there that's trying to do the same thing, the 3D models? Yeah, I mean, there's other people that know how to do it, you know, that are gamers or things, you know, people like that. I wonder if the floor needs to be moved up again. We'll see. We'll check that out later. But it's all, you know, it's starting to look better. Everything seems to work a little bit better. Still some spots that aren't really, you know, the walls aren't smooth or something, but yeah, it's not going to do anything, Phil. We've already said that, Phil, and you've said it 15 times on the show. And I've already said on the show exactly that all it really does is allows people following the case to be able to visualize what's going on, okay? And it allows you to theorize more accurately because you can see the layout and you can determine whether or not it is, you know, if you think that they were targeted based on where Ethan and Zena were, they were out of the way no matter how you look at it. Okay, so you're not just wondering, you're doing the troll kind of question. You know, it's like, that's a passive aggressive troll idiotic question, and you know it, Phil, so you know you probably won't last too long around here with those kind of bullshit kind of questions, and you know it, right? Let's see. Yeah, once we hear how things happen, then you'll be able to do, and you know, like in the Jodi Arias case, we got to hear, well, the evidence showed what happened. The prosecution's theory on how it went was totally convoluted and ridiculous. So, in the Jodi Arias case. I don't know what that means, Patsy. Maybe send me an email so I can see what you're talking about. It can't be exactly like mine because they have to make their own. Yeah. And you notice how Phil disappeared after his troll comment. So we're going to just have to put you on timeout there. When he comes back in, just keep an eye out on that. What do you mean? We've gone over it 100 times, Zozo. The sliding door is right there. The stairs are right here, see? I mean, did you miss all? I put out a whole show on it, like a video that just goes over the sliding door is right here. There's a third floor sliding door, but that isn't where the person would enter. They'd enter this one down here on the second floor, and then they'd come up these stairs right here to make it up to the third floor into the room right here where, I mean, I have to, and I don't know how this is still confusing to people. It's just so clear. So on this floor down here, the other stairs are right here. They come up, and after going up the stairs, you come through this little entry right here, and you go up these stairs. And I mean, but first when you came up through here, this is where this is the kitchen right here, right? Zaina and Ethan are right over here. And that's why maybe there was blood coming down right there. I don't know. You have to go watch the video I put out there. It's really simple, really obvious, and you know, if you're not good with spatial awareness, it might be difficult. I need to have a visual look. Right now in my head, I can just walk through the house on my own if I just showed up there, and know exactly which rooms and everything. Yeah. Anyways, it looks like this. Let's just do it again. You open the front door outside where the keypad is. Then you go up the stairs on the left. Then right over there is Zaina and Ethan were staying in this room. They were killed in there. Then the killer exited. The stairs are on your left right there that you just walked up. Take a right. You go through this little thing where you drop down, and then there's these stairs that go up again. And once those go up, but okay, now on this floor, let me go back a little bit before they went down this hallway. So you came up these stairs right here, and then went into there. And then when you go through here to the right is the kitchen where the sliding glass door is. It's just right over there to the right. There's a kitchen. And the killer would have came in here and maybe gone up these stairs first to kill Maddie and Kaylee, and then came down and then went back down that same hallway, this room right here that we were just in. Yeah. To kill, you know, we just don't know the order. They know, though. The police for sure know the order of this. There's no doubt about it. So it's right here. Not sure what that is. What the hell is that? Dark spot right there. Yeah, so you enter the sliding glass door right here on the second floor. You would walk down the hall and then go up the stairs, those double stairs, to make it up to the third floor up here. And that's where Maddie and Kaylee were staying. Right there. All right? What do you mean there's no way the killer didn't know level 1 existed? No, there is. I mean, the killer has been, I guarantee the killer is very aware of the house. They knew exactly where people were going to be. They're aware of the house. Okay? But I guess if they came through the second floor, they could have killed Ethan and Zaina, then went upstairs after that and exited again out the sliding glass door, and maybe weren't aware that there was a first floor. They've used it in a couple cases. I got hired by a New York prosecutor to make a video for them, 2 different ones, and then a couple other cases I made 3D things that they used to discuss cases and so forth. PI, Sheila Wysocki had me do a couple of them. Yeah, I don't know. No, it isn't, Phil. It isn't, Phil. What those kind of questions are troll questions. You know it, right? I mean, give me a break. Okay, we'll do it again. All right. Put you on timeout again until when you come back in and you just join in on the conversation, that'll be great. If you come back in again and start bringing up the same crap, you're going to have a problem. Because I know exactly what you're trying to say. And I'm not blowing a gasket. I'm actually really calm. I just seen your type a million times, okay? Trying to diminish what somebody's doing because you don't understand it. Yeah. And really that's not the reason. It's more that you're just trying to diminish somebody's work because that's what your goal is. That's the reality of it. I don't know. I don't know who's imitating who or anything right now in this case. I just do my own thing. All right. So can I get off of this? I want to go to this later. Okay. I didn't even want to talk about it for a while. All right. So here we go. This is from the KSN. B Local 4 in California. It says the suspect in a Southern California triple homicide who died in a shootout with police was a Virginia law enforcement officer who investigators believe drove across the country to meet a teenage girl before killing 3 members of her family. Yeah, so he was a Virginia law enforcement officer. I mean, is that crazy or what? AustinLeeEdwards, 28, also likely set fire to the family home in Riverside, California, on the day of the shooting, Friday, before leaving with the girl, according to Riverside Police Department. Deputies exchanged gunfire with and fatally shot Edwards after locating him with the teenager later that day. The San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department said Riverside Police said in a news release. Until last month, Edward was a Virginia State Police trooper and was recently hired as a sheriff deputy in the state, spokesperson said. So he probably burnt the house down to destroy his DNA that he may have left in the home. He knows all about that. Edwards, a resident of North Chesterfield, Virginia, met the girl online and obtained her personal information by deceiving her with a false identity known as catfishing. This is, I think, the mother. One of the homicide victims was identified as 38-year-old Brooke Winnick, the mother of a teenager from whom police say was catfished in an online relationship with the suspect. The bodies found in the home were identified as the girl's grandparents and mother, Mark Winnick, 69, his wife, Sherry Winnick, 65, and their 38-year-old daughter, Brooke Winnick. Police said the exact cause of their deaths remain under investigation. The teenager was unharmed and taken into protective custody. Police in Riverside, about 50 miles southeast of downtown Los Angeles, received a call for a welfare check Friday morning concerning a man and a woman involved in a disturbance near a car. Investigators later determined the 2 people were Edwards and the teenager, whose age was not released. Authorities believe Edwards parked his vehicle in a neighbor's driveway, walked to the home and killed the family members before leaving with the girl. I mean, this guy is, you wonder if is this the first time he's killed anybody? I mean, look how far he drove. He drove from Virginia, or however he got there, all the way to California and killed an entire family to be with this girl. Man, is he just a monster that, again, hiding amongst other people? I mean, what about the other cases where he got away with it and abducted the person and killed the family? I wonder if there's any other cases like that out there where there's a family was left at home, a girl in the home is missing, and they never found the girl. And sometime in the last 15 years. Authorities believe Edwards parked his vehicle in a neighbor's driveway, walked to the home, and killed the family members before leaving with the girl. Hold on a second. Dispatchers were alerted to smoke and possible structure fire a few houses away from the disturbance. The Riverside Fire Department discovered 3 adults lying in the front entryway. The cause of the fire was under investigation, but appeared to have been intentionally set, police said. Riverside authorities distributed a description of Edwards, or alerted possible structure fire. Yeah, Riverside authorities distributed a description of Edwards' vehicle to law enforcement agencies, and several hours later, police located the car with Edwards and the teenager in Kelso. Is that Washington? Kelso, there are Kelso. Wow. Okay, so it's not... Okay, that makes sense. So this is the house that everybody was killed in. Right here. It's weird how on this entire area here, almost every single house has a completely orange, similar roof, and the one house... The one house where this took place is on the end of this cul-de-sac, and this is it right here. And it's one that doesn't have that color. Looks more adobe-ish. And then Kelso wasn't really that far away. But look at this. Way out here in this remote little town. Yeah, where in the hell does that even go? Man. It's 70 miles, that is. 120. Riverside authorities distributed a description of Edwards' vehicle to law enforcement, and police located the car with Edwards and the teenager in Kelso, an unincorporated area of San Bernardino County. Edwards fired gunshots and was killed by deputies returning fire. 2 of the apparent homicide victims were identified. These are them. 69-year-old Mark Winnick. He looks pretty young for that. And his, well, that might be an older picture, but. And his wife, 65-year-old Sherry Winnick. Police say their 38-year-old daughter was the 3rd victim. Edwards was hired by the Virginia State Police and entered the police academy in July 6, 2021. Virginia State Police Public Relations Manager Corinne Geller told the Associated Press in an email. He graduated as a trooper on January 21st, 2022, and was assigned to... Yeah, so that was just, 10 months ago, and was assigned to Henrico County with the agency. Corinne Geller, a state police spokesperson, said that during Edwards' 15-month tenure there, he never exhibited any behaviors to trigger any internal administrative or criminal investigation. During his background and psychological tests, there weren't any indicators of concern. Edwards was hired as a deputy in Washington County, Virginia on November 16th and had begun orientation to be assigned to a patrol division, the sheriff's office said in a statement. During the hiring process, no employers disclosed any troubles, reprimands, or internal investigation. It is shocking and sad to the entire law enforcement community that such an evil and wicked person could infiltrate law enforcement while concealing his true identity. Man, that sounds almost like what I just said a minute ago. It's crazy. As a computer predator and murderer, our thoughts and prayers are with Winnick's family, their friends, officers, and all those affected by the heinous crime. Now, let me go to the next article here. Who was former Virginia State Trooper turned California murder suspect Austin Lee Edwards? So here it is. The suspect is in a triple homicide in Southern California. This is WTVR. Shootout with police was a Virginia law enforcement officer who police believe drove across the country. So he drove like 3,000 miles. Yeah. Austin Lee Edwards, 28, also likely set fire to the family home in Riverside, California on the day of the shooting, Friday, before leaving with the girl. Deputies exchanged gunfire. You know what this sounds a little bit like is the... what was her name? God, I can't remember. You remember that case? It was like 7 or 8 years ago. And this girl, she was in high school, and then I think somebody that's her uncle or like her uncle abducted her, killed her mother and brother, set the house on fire, and then went out into the wilderness with this girl. And then the FBI shows up and they shot him in the head before he could even say a word and rescued her. No, not Klaus. No, it had nothing to do with the one I just said. I forgot her name. She was a blonde girl. She was even had conversations on various platforms out there, like Ask Me. Remember that one? She was literally answering questions that we had. Yeah, it's sort of like Jamie Klaus. Yeah. Yeah, what was the name? Let me see if somebody... I think Ada was around during that time. No. Yeah. God. Oh yeah, and then yeah, so the girl she was in high school, like I remember she had friends in high school. I mean, it's so similar sounding, except this guy was close to home. Very similar. Yeah, there it is. Hannah Anderson. There we go. Hey. Good job, Renee Pauser. There you go. That was it. Hannah Anderson. Yeah, most of you probably didn't hear about it. I think that was back in like 2013 or 14. I mean, that's an old one there. That was a crazy one. Absolutely nuts. Yeah, that's right. Uncle Jim, yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought it was the uncle. That's what I thought. Alright. Yeah, that was a weird one. So it's sort of similar to that. Until last month, Edwards was a Virginia State Police trooper assigned to patrol Henrico County, Virginia, and was recently hired as a sheriff deputy in that state. So then he was a sheriff deputy. Edwards, a resident of North Chesterfield, Virginia, met the girl online and obtained her personal information by deceiving her with a false identity known as catfishing. The bodies found in the home were identified as the girl's grandparents and mother, Mark Winnick, 69, his wife, Sherry Winnick, 65, and their 38-year-old daughter, Brooke Winnick. Police said the exact causes of their deaths remain under investigation. The teenager was unharmed and taken into protective custody by the Riverside County Department of Public Social Services. Police in Riverside, about 50 miles southeast of downtown Los Angeles, received a call for a welfare check. Yep. Dispatchers were alerted to smoke and possible structure fire. Edwards was hired by the Virginia State Police and entered the police academy. That's him right here, this guy. And up here, he's the same guy right there. Seems like he's a pretty tall guy. He entered the police academy in July of 2021. Virginia State Police Public Relations Manager Corrine Geller told the Associated Press in an email. He graduated as a trooper on January 21st and was assigned to Henrico County within the agency Richmond Division until his resignation on October 28th. Why did he resign? Edwards, then he resigned, and then he was hired as a deputy in Washington County, Virginia, on November 16th, and had begun orientation to be assigned to the patrol division, the sheriff's office said in a statement. During the hiring process, no employers disclosed any troubles, reprimands, or internal investigation problems. It is shocking and sad to the entire... it's kind of an odd thing to, resign so quickly. The Washington County Sheriff's Office assisting California agencies in the investigation. Yeah, so. If you have already had a conversation with your kids on how to be safe online and on social media, have it again. If not, start it now to better protect them. Well, that's absolutely the case. Is that what he looks like without the head shaved? Jesus. Let her rip, Zozo. Let her rip. Here we go. Oh, yeah. I mean... all you gotta do is put some, like a little bit of lipstick on there, maybe a clown nose or something. Oh my God, look at this guy. Wow, no wonder. I mean, what a... jeez. He should have been, when he went in for the interview, that's the red flag, okay? The thing is here's the red flag right here, okay? I'm not sure what was so difficult about that. Oh, yeah. Wow, that's amazing. Does he even have lips? Where'd they go? Yeah. Hey, thanks, whimsical me. Oh, thank you to Miss Angels. on PayPal. And maybe hot topic. Okay, I thought somebody was going to send me the people that are making other 3D models. I don't see it yet. She must have missed it. The suspect in a Southern California triple homicide who died in a shootout with police was Virginia law enforcement officer who investigators believe drove across the country to meet a teenage girl before killing 3 members of her family. AustinLeeEdwards, 28, also likely set fire to the family home. Deputies exchanged gunfire and fatally shot Edwards. Until last month, Edwards was a Virginia State Police trooper and was recently hired as a sheriff deputy. Edwards, a resident of North Chesterfield, Virginia, met the girl online and obtained her personal information. And he catfished her, pretended he was somebody else. The bodies found in the home were identified as the girl's grandparents and mother. Mark Winnick, 69, his wife Sherry Winnick, 65, and their 38-year-old daughter, Brooke Winnick, and this barbarian abducted Brooke Winnick's daughter. The teenager was unharmed and taken into protective custody. Police in Riverside, about 50 miles southeast of downtown Los Angeles, received a call for a welfare check because of there was like a disturbance, people arguing. Authorities believe Edwards parked his vehicle in a neighbor's driveway, walked to the home, and killed the family. Oh wow, they didn't switch over. Look at, but that's how good their models are. Not too bad, really, just for satellites going around and making it. Let's see if it switches over. Doesn't seem like it wants to do it, but in another driveway. So maybe even this one over here. I mean, any one of these really, but parked the car, walked over, killed them all, and took her. Yeah. Alright, well, that is that story. What a nightmare for just everybody. I wonder if her father's still alive somewhere. Because it sounds, I mean, that's basically wiping out. If she doesn't have a father, she doesn't have anybody at this point. Maybe a brother or sister or something, but no parent. You know, grandparents are dead. I guess she might have grandparents on the father's side out there or something like that, but man, ridiculous. So anyways, I gotta go use the facilities. I'll be back in a minute, and if you guys would like to help support the channel, we're getting near the end of the month. PayPal's probably the best option there, doesn't take any percentage out at all. And also, I need to get those notebooks again. Don't have any notebooks, but if we do another batch of notebooks, people usually would buy some of those, and then I deliver them, write a note in there and send it off. But also super chats and channel memberships. I know we're not talking right now, currently on the show, about the Idaho murders, but like I'm sort of running out of, there isn't really much new stuff coming out at all, really. So anyways, I'm gonna go use the facilities. So Thanks, Annabelle Stealth. Wow, that sales pitch really worked, didn't it? That was awesome. Alright, so let's do the... wow. Man, I don't have the touch. Alright. Alright. So, the serial killer Ralph Howell that we were talking about, they think there's 3 different murders associated. Yeah. Well, it's pretty weird, isn't it? LMM, when you mention, hey everybody, this is what we do here, and then it's just sounds like the yeah. So that's the thing. The thing is every single night on this channel, the freaks support my channel, and then it allows me to keep doing the shows every single night. I mean, it's kind of stressful every single night to do the shows. And then at the end of the month, I even give back over 50% of the net revenue to YouTube. That's just what I want to do with it. But that's the only way to make it happen is if every single night there's some kind of support. You know, like when you get your coffee every single day at Starbucks. I don't, Gray. I only get it twice a week. Okay, well, you know what I'm saying. So that's how it works here. And that's how it's been. But it seems like, I don't know, like... a lot of the regulars aren't around as much right now for some reason. Maybe it's because we've been covering the Idaho case. I don't know. Who knows? But who in the hell knows? Hey, thanks, Tosh. How's it going? All right, let's see. All right, so we're going to go back. We've got the, we covered the Charmaine Stola. Cheryl Thompson was the one that there was an arrest made for. Or not arrest, the guy died in 1985, the Ralph individual. Oh, there you go. There's installment number 4. Hey, thanks, Sosa. Oh, if he drools, I don't know. They're going to find a picture of him drooling. Just for you. Yeah, so it was Cheryl Thompson. And then yesterday we did Charmaine Stola. And then that was 1978. And today is 2 different ones. Victoria Hincher and Nancy Ann Theobald. And remember, they're all strangled. And these are, almost all of these are students, too. It's crazy. So this is Victoria Hincher. Hey, thank you very much, Garden Girl. All right, nude woman's body found in Butler Woods. The body of a 24-year-old Cincinnati woman who had been missing since October 20th was found Sunday in a Butler County woods about 400 feet off New London Road. The victim, Victoria Hincher, of 7020 Glen Meadow Drive. So this is in Hamilton. Let's put that in there. Hincher is 7020 Glen Meadow Drive, Cincinnati. Doesn't show that. Cincinnati. 70 Glen Meadow. Glen Meadow Court. But what's going on with Google Earth here? It's crazy. It's kind of freezing up. Let me close it, open it back up again. Hey, thanks, Olivia Dorado. Olivia Dorado and Shelly Pink. I guess I missed those. I don't have the sound effect on right now because the sorry. I put everybody's name into a text file for a spin at the end if we get to that point. Thank you, Olivia Dorado, and then Anna. Thank you very much, and welcome, Full Sendington. Very cool, very cool. Maybe I should turn it on so I can hear it. And CC, thank you. Hey, thank you, Melanie. Very cool. So I don't know if I gotta get Google Earth back open again. It's hopefully it opens. Let's see. It's down here. It's trying to. See what happens. I wonder if they got rid of that road. I haven't seen Dan Carr in a long time. Maybe he could find the 7020 Glen Meadow Drive. And there doesn't even seem like there's any in Ohio at all. Did they say Westchester? Hamilton? Findlay? Maybe Findlay's right next to Cincinnati. Let's see. No, not really. Now they're saying Cincinnati. If anybody sees anything different there. So this is a court, though. So maybe that's where it was. But I really can't be sure at all. So I guess we'll just have to go with the victim, Victoria Hincher of 7020 Glen Meadow Drive in Cincinnati, had been strangled and her body was nude. Authorities said the Butler County Sheriff's Office said Miss Hincher was found at 4:30 p.m. by a man who was running his dogs in the wooded area near... Okay, let's see where that is. 3167 New London Road. How come that road sounds familiar? So her body was found right over here. Was nude, authorities said. Butler County Sheriff's Office said Miss Hincher was found 4:30 p.m. by a man who was running his dogs in the wooded area near 3167 New London Road. Since 1972, 5 young women have been abducted and slain in the Miami Valley. Butler County authorities said they have no suspects. None of the other 4 slayings have been solved. So isn't that just crazy? It sounds like, this guy, he was 35 when he died. in the automobile accident in 1985. So I would think from 1970-ish, when he's 20 on, there could be victims. Butler County Coroner Garrett J. Boone said the woman had been dead for several days and that tests are underway to determine the exact time of death and whether she was sexually attacked. He said there was no evidence at the time to indicate she was killed there. The discovery of Miss Hincher's body followed by the abduction and assault last week of 7-year-old Harrison Township girl in Montgomery County. The girl was taken into Miami County and tossed naked into a ditch, apparently left for dead. She had been sexually abused and marks on her neck indicated she had been choked. The girl recovered, but no one has been arrested in that case either. Jeez. Cincinnati police said Miss Hincher had been a waitress at Red Lobster restaurant at 7152 Reading Road. I wonder if that's still a Red Lobster. No. Sorry, I'm just trying to get everything back in order. Save it really quick, and there we go. We got it. So now we get to know the sort of what happened here. Cincinnati police said Miss Hincher had been a waitress at Red Lobster restaurant at 7152 Reading Road in the suburb of Reading and was reported missing October 24th by her stepmother, Joan Wade, who lives in Indiana. Authorities said the girl was last seen alive on October 20th at 5:30 a.m. by her roommate Robin Cox, 23, also a waitress at the Red Lobster. Miss Cox said today that when she last saw Miss Hincher, the woman had been drinking pretty heavy. A missing person report filed with Cincinnati police said Miss Cox and Miss Hincher had argued before Miss Hincher walked out of the apartment that night. Red Lobster manager Vince Brady said when Miss Hincher did not show up at work the morning of October 21st, he called and Miss Cox told him they had argued over whether to watch the World Series baseball game on television. Yeah, well, that'll do it to you. I mean, who the hell watches? I'm just kidding. So you wonder if she hitchhiked or something after that, right? I mean, she works at Red Lobster, but she was at home. Last saw Miss Hincher, the woman had been drinking pretty heavy, so she had been drinking. Miss Cox said today that Miss Hincher had a lot of things on her mind, but she declined to elaborate. Miss Cox recalled that when Miss Hincher left the apartment, she said she was going to the home of a friend, Mary Egbert, 28, of, okay, now we have another address. So she was going over to a friend's house at 5879 Whippoorwill Hollow. And that's in Milford, so there you go. Ah, wow. Interesting. So that's where she was supposed to go there. Do you think it's cool how the old newspaper have this kind of information in there? Come on. Google Earth. So her body was found. Is that a different one? Is it? No, her body was found over there. And this is where that friend's house was supposed to be, or where she's supposed to go. And then Red Lobster's over here. Body, Red Lobster, friend. Hey, thank you very much, Colleen Dahman.
Support this channel with pride. Gray donates to some fantastic charities. Come on freaks, ! Basic generous.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Miss Hincher had a lot of things on her. Miss Cox recalled that when Miss Hincher left the apartment, she said she was going to go to a friend's home named Mary Egbert, 28, of 5879. How old is she? Oh, she's 24. So, Victoria Hincher's 24 years old. She was supposed to go to a 28-year-old's house at 5879 Whippoorwill Hollow in Milford in Claremont County. Miss Hincher walked out of their apartment with no apparent way to go to Miss Egbert's, she said. So that would be maybe hitchhiking. Miss Hincher never arrived at Egbert's home. Miss Egbert this morning broke into tears when told Miss Hincher's death and couldn't talk about her friend, but her family said Miss Hincher never arrived there. Miss Egbert's father, Richard, described his daughter friendship with Miss Hincher. Mary was a good listener. He said Victoria came to her with her problems. Yeah, so Miss Egbert. So Victoria, Vicky, Hincher would go to Mary Egbert's house for advice when she's having problems. He said Miss Hincher had a lot of problems, but he declined to discuss them. That's sports. That's page 8, so it might be missing. Let's see. That's page 8. There we go. Well, it says 14 up there, but not sure where the I think that's it right there. Described Miss Hincher as a good worker, very friendly and happy-go-lucky, he said. He could not imagine any one man being able to subdue Miss Hincher because she was a real fighter. Other similar but unsolved deaths in the Dayton area in the last 4 years include Jane Allen, 13, of Royal Oaks, Michigan, found in the Great Miami River in Miamisburg last August 11th, and she was apparently abducted while hitchhiking. Judy Cantor, 17, of Madison Township, found shot to death last December 6th in the ruins of the old Plantation Country Club near the Salem Mall Shopping Center. Seems like we covered that one. Judy Stevenson, 18, of near Zanesfield in Logan County, who was apparently abducted while on her way to wash her car. See how similar these sound? And then she had her own car in Bellefonte on March 6, 1975. Her partly clothed body was found 48 days later in Logan County woods. She had been strangled with a shoelace from her own shoe. See, that sounds very similar right there. Deborah Rubenfeld, 17, an Antioch College dropout from New York who disappeared while trying to raise bail for an arrested friend. Her body was found in July of 1972 in a wooded area near Central State University. She had been shot twice in the face. See, the two shooting ones, I don't know if you put those in the category, but the strangulations and, you know, people hitchhiking and driving definitely sound similar. So anyway, here, hold on, my wife came home, so. Whose birthday is it? Colleen Dahman? All right. So it's Colleen's birthday, huh? Wow. We're going to have to get Mary Lou to sing something on that. Wherever the hell she is. No, I think it's on this one. Where is Mary Lou? Where the hell are you, Mary Lou? There it is. All right, Mary Lou, you got to sing happy birthday to Colleen Dahman. Am I saying that right? The Dahman? Am I saying it right? Yeah, I already found that one, Mary Green. You don't have to send that in. I already found that's Lane. That's not what it was called. All right, so let me do the that's the cul-de-sac, right? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, pronounce it right. Okay. All right, Mary Lou, you gotta sing happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Wow, no argument or anything? No argument at the beginning like you always do? Man, that's crazy.
What's wrong with that, Gray? I'm just gonna sing it, alright? Gee. Happy birthday to Colleen Dahman. Happy birthday to Colleen Dahman. Happy birthday, dear Colleen Dahman. Sounds like ramen. Happy birthday to you.
And many more.
Hey, that wasn't too bad, Mary Lou. At least you didn't cough and hack it up at the end there.
You're right, Greg, because I had the cigarettes with Retsin in them today.
Oh, great. You had the cigarettes with Retsin. All right. Well, that's absolutely fantastic. I'm glad you found some cigarettes that don't make you hack like so many others do. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, hey, happy birthday, Colleen Dahman. All right. Very cool. That was excellent. Yeah. Yeah, so there was a a few serial killers in that area at the time. Ralston was one of them. It's pretty crazy. Alright, so here it is. Waitress death leaves fellow workers sad and dazed. Let's see if we get any more victimology out of it. The group sat around the empty dining room quiet. Their looks were puzzled, their eyes wet and pointed towards the floor or towards the food. They just didn't have the stomach to eat. I mean, this is all these articles are from 1978. They're all in the... Actually, I didn't put these in there. At the end of the show, I'll put all the links in there. But this is from the Cincinnati Enquirer. I remember not doing that now. Anyways, it's been like this all day, the dining room supervisor said. Monday night, I had to send some people home. They were so upset they couldn't work. They had last seen Vicky Hincher 2 weeks ago today. Hincher, 24, a waitress at Red Lobster Restaurant at 7152 Reading Road, was found dead and nude Sunday along a Butler County road. Police said she had been dead about 3 days. Her fellow employees had seen her when she left work at 8:30 p.m. on October 19th. She was excited about watching the Reds, said Judy Hall, a restaurant employee. She didn't say she was going to do anything but go home and watch the World Series. Hincher had shared an apartment near the restaurant with Robin Cox, but apparently they argued and maybe Robin didn't want to watch the game. Another waitress, Cox, was stunned all day Monday. She missed work. She spent the day locked in her apartment. She hesitated to talk to reporters, but did say she last saw Hincher the morning of October 20th. Huh. So that's when you guys were arguing? Miss Pauline Longhorn, the dining room supervisor, said she became concerned on the 20th when Hincher failed to show up to work. She was always on time for work. She didn't miss a day, Miss Lawthorne said. Judy Hall added, and she worked for others whenever we would ask. So she was always available and, worked extra hours and, one of those, the good employees. Thanks for energy. Other described...
Support. It's all good. Let's go, freaks. 1, 2, 3. Donate. Go.
Thanks for energy. Yeah. So others describe Hincher as a free-spirited, friendly, outspoken, sweet in every way, honest as the day is long. Hall said everybody loved her. Miss Lawthorne emphasized Hincher's outspokenness. She'd tell you if she didn't like you. She would gripe, but never gripe behind your back. Was she brash? No, she wasn't outspoken in that way, Hall said. She wasn't the kind to get in trouble, but she would tell you if she did something. She never really hid anything. She was friendly and hardworking, Miss Lawthorne said. Everyone was her friend, and she said, at least that's what I thought. Everyone but one person, I guess. Hincher had worked at the Red Lobster about 1.5 years, Mrs. Lawhorn said. She had lived with her foster mother, Miss Joan Wade, just north of the restaurant until Mrs. Wade moved to Harrison about 3 months or so ago. Another waitress said. None of the 8 or so saddened waitresses had known... hold on a second.
Chewbacca?
Chewbacca!
Chewbacca, if you want me to.
Hey, thanks,
I'll
Colleen.
match that. Thank you, Mary Lou, for the song. Thank you all.
Yeah, thank you. And Jacera Books. J. Sarah Books, or I don't know what that says. You have to help me out with that one. Anyways, thank you guys. Appreciate it. And good job, Mary Lou.
Hey, thanks, Greg.
No, I mean, Colleen said good job.
Oh, cool.
That's it?
Well, I'm just really good, Grace.
I Oh, man. Hincher had worked at the Red Lobster for 1.5 years. Lawhorn said she had lived with her foster mother, Mrs. Joan Wade, just north of the restaurant until Mrs. Wade moved to Harrison about 3 months or so ago. Okay, so it was Harrison. Hold on. I'm going to open up this. Okay. Glen Meadow Drive is what it was. So it's not Lane. There's a Lane somewhere else. It's over here. No, not there, but we already found the Lane. So I don't know. I guess, apparently she lived in Harrison now. So, yeah, it's right there on the outskirts of Cincinnati. What's it called again? Glen Meadow. I wonder if you can just see it with pure luck. There aren't too many roads in here. Yeah, don't know. Anyways, we'll just put a pin that she lived in Harrison over here. To give you sort of a geographical look to it. So Harrison lived there, I think. So this is, since we have so many bodies here, I almost have to put Victoria body. Okay, let's see. She had friends named Mary Engel. Her name started with an E. Hall and Mrs. Lawthorne. The news of Hincher's death reached the restaurant late Sunday. Police called about 11:30 Sunday night, said the manager, Robert Gills. His cashier, Mary Jo Hutchins, and third employee met police from Butler County and identified the body at 1 a.m. Monday. Hey, thank you very much, Tosh. Hall called Cox to tell her that her roommate might have been found. She was in shock. Hall soothed Hincher's roommate from about 11 p.m. Sunday until Monday. I don't think it was really set in yet. Gill said the stunned withheld eerie feeling around the restaurant won't vanish easily. Mrs. Lawthorne said the employees want to do something for Hincher's memory. We can't do anything until they release the body.
I'll be back if you want me to.
Hoping for the clip of Chloe hugging Blue.
I don't know, did it show it? Yeah, maybe it was up there. I think I got the wrong screen up there for you. Sorry about that. I mean, it was really small if it was up there. Okay. So now we're moving forward in time, about 4 or 5 days later. Sex attack probed in death of woman. Butler County authorities said today a 24-year-old woman whose body was found Sunday in a wooded area off New London Road may have been sexually assaulted. Preliminary indications suggest that the woman may have been sexually assaulted, said Major John Bolin of the Sheriff's Department. But there are certain examinations which must be completed before that is definite. The nude body of Victoria Hincher, 24, of 7020 Glen Meadow Drive, Cincinnati, was found Sunday about 4:30 p.m. by an area resident who was walking his dog. Bolin also said Hincher had been married twice. Wow, twice at 24, huh? And was estranged from her second husband, who is believed working on the Alaskan pipeline. He said the first husband resides in Florida. There had been no indications that either of these men were in the area at the time of the death. Dr. Garrett J. Boone, Butler County coroner, said marks on the woman's neck indicate she was strangled. He said the young woman may have been dead at least 5 days. We are continuing our around-the-clock investigation, said Major Bolin, and are following some pretty good leads. We are encouraged. Miss Hincher was identified by her mother and 2 girlfriends several hours after her body was discovered. She had been reported as missing since October 21st. The Immal Funeral Home at 4811 is, taking care of her. Yeah, and then we go to police appeal for leads. Now they're already just 2 days later. Even after that, they're stumped, and it's kind of what's going on in Idaho right now. It sounds like. I mean, if you don't have a person of interest or a suspect 2 weeks in, man, you're in trouble. That's gonna get a lot tougher. Detective Tom Deaton of the Butler County Sheriff's Department yesterday appealed to the public, particularly residents living in Greater Cincinnati, for information concerning the initial disappearance of Victoria Hincher, 24, whose nude body was found along the New London Road near Hamilton October 31st. She lived at 7020 Glen Meadow Lane in the Roselawn neighborhood of Cincinnati. She was a waitress at the Red Lobster restaurant on Reading Road in Cincinnati. Miss Hincher failed to report to work October 20th and was reported missing by her mother October 24th. Deaton said because of the length of time that had elapsed between her disappearance and the time the body was found, it is likely someone had seen her prior to her apparent abduction. What does that mean? Miss Hincher failed to report to work on October 20th and was reported missing by her mother October. Well, yeah, but she's likely abducted. Well, that's weird, right? Because if she's only killed 4 days before. What did they say up there? Hincher failed to report to work on October 20th, but she was found on Sunday, which would have been on right around the 31st. I mean the 30th of let's see. Yeah, September, October. So October 31st-ish is when she was found, and they think she was dead 4 days before that, but that means she could have been alive. And remember that other case, the first victim of this killer, it could have been that she was alive for days. Remember that? She lived at 7020 Glen Meadow Lane. Oh, so now it's lane, not drive. They've updated that, so that is the lane there that we originally had. Glen Meadow Lane. Yeah, okay. See, originally they had drive in there. And it's just one word. It's not two. That's why it made it hard to find there. So there you go. And look how close it is to the Red Lobster right there. Very close. Could just walk to work. And then her body was found way up here. And this Ralph Howell, he lived right here. The serial killer, right there. And there was another one, Ralston. Deaton particularly is looking for anyone who can recall seeing Miss Hincher prior to the morning of October 20th, or any time after then, up until October 31st. He said any information, no matter how insignificant it may seem, is important. Butler County authorities believe the girl may have been dead as long as 5 days. So if she was found on October 31st and was dead up to 5 days, that means it was the 26th that she died, but she went missing on the 20th. So man, this is very similar to that other case where the person's kept alive for a while. Miss Hincher was described as a white female, 5 feet 6, weighing 110 pounds, with medium-length dark brown hair. Deaton said that on the day she disappeared, she was wearing a faded blue jeans, known knee-high boots. Oh, they're just trying to... They want people that may have seen her. He said the girl probably would have been walking in the area around Seymour Avenue in Cincinnati or near Interstate 75 and 275 to hitchhike, probably. The detective said the young woman probably was headed either north on I-75 or east on I-275. Deaton said any information can be called into the police. And then this is the last one in here. I just want to read, this seems like an opinion piece about hitchhiking. I mean, there you go. Look at that picture right there. That's a cool picture. Like if you were just, they took so much better, the photography back in the old newspapers are 1,000 times better than stuff today. Mary Ruth Hopkins, 21, Linda Dyer, 15, Dorothy Sullivan, 18, Victoria Hincher, 24. So Dyer was a victim of Ralston. I know that. These are 4 local women found dead in isolated regions of Hamilton County within the last 4 months. In each case, the victim's body was found naked and strangled or stabbed. Police have determined no link between the deaths. They have, however, determined similarities between the women. One is overriding. Each was known to hitchhike. That habit may have been fatal in several cases. And this is what I've always said, is hitchhikers, serial killers loved hitchhikers. And the reason they loved hitchhikers is because hitchhikers would willingly get into your vehicle without knowing who you were. They would just get into your car. So, and at that moment, they are at the mercy of the person driving the vehicle. And then people quit hitchhiking. So guess who the next victims became? At a much higher frequency anyways. They were still victims before, but those are sex workers, because even after people quit hitchhiking, sex workers are among the very few people who still would get into somebody's vehicle without knowing who the person is. And they became the much more common target of serial killers after that. And truck drivers love sex workers too, because the serial killers that happen to be truck drivers. I don't mean truck drivers in general. I'm talking about the serial killer truck drivers loved the sex workers because they would show up to these truck stops and then they would get into their truck and they would kill them and dump them wherever they felt like it, hundreds of miles away, and nobody would know where the hell it came from. Yeah. 3 of the 4 women also were said to be alcohol or drug users, said Captain Herbert Vogel of the Hamilton County Detective Squad. In the case of Hincher, drug or alcohol use has not been established. Moral of the story, don't hitchhike. Don't abuse alcohol or drugs. That is the message. I think the hitchhiking one's the bigger one, but all of that is not good to do. But will anyone listen, he wonders. Sometimes we see a little decline in hitchhiking shortly after it is known a girl lost her life, maybe as a result of hitchhiking, said Vogel. But the girls always seem to go back to it. It gives me cold chills to see a girl out there hitchhiking. Man, imagine being a cop knowing all these people go out and hitchhike. Yeah, I don't know who's talking about. Who's talking about? God. Yeah. Yeah, just. I mean, I appreciate everybody having positive thoughts with Jen, you know, but when she, yeah, if she's not here and talking about it, then, you know, I don't know. I agree with that. Moral of the story, don't hitchhike, don't abuse alcohol, drugs, that is the message. But will anyone listen, he wonders. Sometimes we think little decline in hitchhiking shortly after, but the girls always seem to go back to it. It gives me a cold chills to see a girl out there hitchhiking. So the cops who know all this stuff, you know, they see it, man. That must just freak them out. Like, what in the hell are you doing? It angers Vogel that young women do not learn better the lesson of such tragedies as those of the 4 local women. Each case is different. Each moves me, he said. I can't become callous. You know, the thing is that wording right there, today they go, oh, you're a sexist. Guys hitchhike too. Listen, man, this guy's telling you the truth here. Okay, it's not something, because this is back in 1978 too. You know, that's when the serial killers were just absolutely flourishing and killing as many people they could by picking up hitchhikers. I think Kemper did that. I mean, it's just Bundy kind of, you know, he'd have little ruses and shit, but, you know, thanks LMM, as in Element Open. Each case is different. Each moves me, he said. I can't become callous. You stand in front of the mirror, shaving in the morning, and you think of it. You go home from work at night, and you think of it. You can't leave it at work. What they should have been doing back then is start ticketing people who would hitchhike if you wanted to really stop it. I don't know how you can... I mean, that's sort of against freedom of speech or something. I mean, you know, it's like your choice to do it, but man, it's just not smart. You go home from work at night, you think about it. You can't leave it at work. This is no 8-hour-a-day job. If young women would learn to protect themselves, though, it would be less frustrating, he said. Hitchhiking, drugs, alcohol, these are contributing factors in many deaths of young women. There's no doubt about it. Agrees another county officer with the sheriff's juvenile squad. Most sexual assaults can be tracked back to hitchhiking. Vogel said police continually warn against dangers of hitchhiking when addressing community groups. Yet he said the practice continues, especially among teenagers. It's such a foolish thing to do, such a dangerous, foolish thing to do, he said. Yeah, well, that's how articles should be written, right there. That's how, I mean, I like it how it was just really, like, brutally honest and not trying to be, well, you know, there's some kinds of good people are out there. No. Really stupid to hitchhike. So anybody who read that might have saved lives just by putting that in the paper. Right? So that's how that one ends there. There isn't really any more in the papers on it, other than it gets brought up with every time they say, well, here's a list of people that are have been murdered, that are unsolved. All right, so now we're moving on to Nancy Theobald, another person in the area. Better, you can see her a little bit better in this picture than the other one. Body may be that of missing UC co-ed. Butler County authorities said today they are almost positive that the body of a young woman found in a field in the Westchester Monday is that of Nancy Theobald, 18, a University of Cincinnati co-ed. Miss Theobald, 18, of I think do I have her address? There it is, 2971. I mean, look where she lives right around. I mean, they all just live in the same area. It's crazy. Nancy Theobald. So it's Theobald, like Theo and then B-A-L-D. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with the Google Earth lately. It doesn't seem to... I think it's an apartment complex. But look out, Google Earth is just not updating quick enough. Not sure. But anyways, right there. And let's see, compared to the other one. See, there's, look at where Ralph Howell lived right there. And that's what law enforcement believes, that he is responsible for this one, too. And then the Red Lobster's over here. Nancy. Victoria's body's up there. So I guess we'll find out where she's found, too. Miss Theobald, 18 of 2971 Deckebach Avenue, Clifton, had been missing since November 16th. In high school, she was a National Honor Society member and active in junior achievement, said her father, Dr. Jerome Theobald, former Kenwood resident and former Cincinnati Zoo veterinarian. She got excellent grades. She was in an honors program at UC. In her senior year at Indiana Hill, she was an American Field Service exchange student in France, her father said. Theobald and his wife, Camille, moved to Pompano Beach, Florida in June. The coroner's office had not ruled on the cause of death. The body was found in a field about a half-mile west of Westchester, said Butler County Detective Tom Deaton. Where's Westchester? So it's way up there, so that's where they said she lived. Oh, Clifton. Let's see where Clifton is. Okay, yeah, so she does live in a little area called Clifton there, and then Westchester Township. So her body's found over here somewhere. Nancy's body found. Theobald, let's see, where are we here? The body was found in a field about a half-mile west of Westchester. There are a lot of leads connecting Theobald and the body, clothing, jewelry, and timing. The woman's body was found face up in a creek bed by a farmer about 100 yards from Beckett Road. Okay, so here we go. Now we can find Beckett Road. Hopefully it's still there. B.E. Beckett Road. There it is, Westchester, Ohio. So it's going to be right here. Let me just put a pin there. I'm going to reopen this again. For some reason it's Beckett Road. Okay. Not sure what's going on with Google Earth last couple days. Oh, see, let me see. Google Earth has encountered a problem and needs to close. We're sorry for the inconvenience. It's just the overuse of it, you know, you guys? When you just pound on Google Earth over and over and over and over again. Yeah, I wouldn't even. I mean, there's people that use the ruse of having a car problem. Man, I don't even know. It's such a sad state that we're in right now. And they said there was a creek. I wonder if it's still... Yeah. They said was found face up in a creek bed by a farmer about 100 yards from Beckett Road. And this could be totally different now, though. So that's Beckett Road. So it's not. It's only starts right here as Beckett Road. And there's still Beckett Road up here. And then it ends right there. So kind of a small window here. I don't know if that's a creek right there. You know, I bet if you go back to 2000, yeah, see, it's already, there isn't really as many buildings. 1994, almost nobody there. There's Beckett Road, Beckett Road. That's probably the creek right here. Okay. And so that's going to be 100 yards from Beckett Road. So I would almost bet you that that's it right there. There we go, yards. So somewhere about like right here or the other side. Yeah, so it could either be on either side there, but right there, I don't think it looks like that now, though. I would bet money. Oh, there's still a little, yeah, well, there's still a creek. You just can't see it. So right there you go. Boom. So she was found in this creek, face up. Probably the person may have even pulled off and sort of went around into here or something. I mean, who knows? But I think that that's probably it. You just couldn't see it on that shot there. I guess you could because there's a tree line. That's normally what that is. But yeah, I would almost bet you money that that's the creek. Beckett Road, a creek. You know, the rest of them kind of. This one goes under it, and it's an actual creek. We just saw it. All right, so her body's either right in one of those spots right there. Detective Lou Efford said Miss Theobald was last seen about 10:50 p.m. November. Well, let me read this part. Police said the body was fully clothed and there was a rope around the woman's neck. It's a knotted clothesline and it's cut a deep furrow in the neck, Swinehart said. We're going to be looking for other things, but I don't expect to find anything more than the rope as far as the cause of death. Swinehart said he found no evidence of gunshot wounds. Whether the murder was committed where the body was found is difficult to determine because the length of time it was outside, he said. Police estimate the woman had been dead at least 30 days. They described her as a white, 18 to 25 years of age, 5'4" to 5'6". Police said she was wearing light-colored sweater, a red, blue, and white plaid shirt, blue corduroy jeans. And they think it's her. Cincinnati Police Detective Mary Lou, look at that, Mary Lou Elfers.
That's not my last name, Gray.
Well, I know, but you weren't even alive back then.
How do you know?
I don't know. And Miss Theobald was last seen about 10:50 p.m. November 16th. when she left her part-time job at Arby's restaurant at... Hey, what do you guys think? Do you think the Arby's is still there? What do you guys think? I'm going to say yes. That's like McDonald's, right? They don't really... I mean, at McDonald's and 7-Elevens, they pretty much are there for the history. Oh, maybe... Oh, they must have torn it down. Ah, God. Well, maybe. Let's see. Maybe it's one of those small... Canes, Starbucks. Hey, what's that right there? Keystone. I guess not. Let's see what it looked like in 1995 right there. Thanks, Tina Susser. Yeah, like it's totally different. Even in 2000. Yeah, what's that building? I bet you that was an Arby's right there. Whatever that thing is. I bet that was at one time. I'm just going to put it right here. This is where it was anyways. Arby's. Thank you, Mama 457 Rose. When they built this, let me try one thing. Hold on. Google Maps. Right there, okay. Oh, 2007. Oh, that's 2007 right there. Wait, no, there it is. Oh, look at that. That was probably an Arby's, right, you guys? Come on. Isn't that what they look like? And then 2009, it's all gone. And they built that whole thing. I was just thinking, I bet you Google Maps might have it there. There you go. Look at that. That's where the Arby's was. And if you go to the last one, it looks like this. I'd say that's a little bit of an upgrade, wouldn't you? Just a little bit. I don't know, Gray. I kind of like the old Arby's. I don't know, man. That's a lot better. She was reported missing 28 hours later. Okay, Cincinnati Police Detective Mary Lou Elfer said Miss Theobald was last seen at 10:50 p.m. November 16th when she left her part-time job at Arby's restaurant at 263 Calhoun Street, Clifton, to walk several blocks to the apartment she shared with her older brother and sister. She was reported missing 28 hours later, Elfer said. We had a number of calls about her, but we've had nothing but negative results. So, that's it on that one. There she is again, Nancy and Theobald. Corpse might be UC Coed. I think that's going to be pretty similar. The body was found about 2:30 p.m. Monday in a creek bed a quarter of a mile west of 6050 Beckett Road. Let's see if we get this one right. 6050 Beckett Road. That's not, it's right here. This is the one I'm looking at. I think we're going to be right. What did it say again? Beckett near, the body was found about 2:30 p.m. Monday in a creek bed a quarter of a mile west of 650 Beckett Road. So west. Let me go back a little bit here. So that's 650 Beckett Road, and you go a quarter mile west. Let's see what that does. It's close, anyways. Might be the same creek. So they have it right here. But there's Beckett Road right here. I mean, there is sort of this little thing that goes right there. So, I don't know. Maybe it was right there. I don't know. It's pretty close, though. It's within a half mile. Somewhere around in this area here. Officers described Victoria in their late teens. Officers estimated the women. Yeah, I think this is going to be pretty similar to the last one. We'll go to the 29th. Strangulation is ruled the cause of death. So here's another strangulation. Butler County Coroner's Office has ruled that Nancy Ann Theobald, 18, the University of Cincinnati student, whose frozen body was discovered Monday in Union Township, was strangled. Miss Theobald, daughter of Dr. Jerome Theobald, formerly the Cincinnati Zoo veterinarian, was identified Wednesday through dental records. She has been missing since November 16th. The body of Miss Theobald of 2971 Deckebach Avenue, Clifton, was found face up in a creek bed by a farmer about 100 yards from Beckett Road near here. Westchester is about 4 miles north of Sharonville, east of I-75. Police said Miss Theobald's body was fully clothed, and a knotted clothesline, which killed her, had cut a deep furrow around her neck.
Hitchhiking was too risky.
Yeah. Yep, not good. Thank you, Loretta Reyes. You must be on rewind. Let's see. The body, let's see. Theobald and his wife, Camille, moved to Pompano Beach, Florida last June and were making arrangements to return to Cincinnati. Miss Theobald's older brother and sister Mary Lou and Michael, with whom she lived in Clifton, were returning to Cincinnati today after visiting their parents for Christmas. Theobald said Nancy was a National Honor Society member and had studied in France as an American Field Service exchange student during her senior year at Indian Hill High School. Wow, she probably was going to be just kick ass out there. The coroner said an incomplete autopsy did not indicate that she had been sexually assaulted, but that possibly could not be ruled out because the body was exposed to the elements for at least 30 days. For the same reason, it would be difficult to determine whether death occurred at the creek bed or somewhere else, he said. There was no evidence of gunshot wounds. Cincinnati Police Detective Mary Lou Elfers said Miss Theobald was last seen at about 10:50 p.m. November 16th when she left her part-time job at Arby's restaurant. See? And I bet you she hitchhiked and that monster was just out there waiting. Butler County Detective Tom Deaton said Thursday there seems to be no connection between the death of Miss Theobald and the slayings of 12 other young women found in the greater... Yeah, I mean, what connection would you find? I mean, if you don't have the killer, you know. I mean, they're similar. They were strangled and everything. And this is in 1977, by the way. December 26, 1977, like the day after Christmas. Slain girl's father not at all surprised. Former Cincinnati Zoo veterinarian Dr. Jerry Theobald said Wednesday he knew from the day his daughter disappeared she would eventually be found dead. We weren't all that surprised, he said, about the notification by police that a body found Monday afternoon in rural section of Union Township in Butler County had been positively identified as that of his 18-year-old daughter, Nancy Ann. She was reported missing November 16th. I knew she didn't leave on her own, he said, from his Pompano Beach, Florida home. She didn't have anything to run away from. Anyway, if she were leaving, she would have taken clothes and money with her. He said he and his wife were braced for the news that arrived with a personal visit by a Pompano Beach policeman. So his voice wasn't filled with remorse, but only wonder when Theobald discussed his daughter's death Wednesday. Let's see. He said he and his wife were braced for the news that arrived with a personal visit by a Pompano Beach policeman. So his voice wasn't filled with remorse. Oh, I see. But only wonder when Theobald discussed his daughter's death. Because he already knew. He had already dealt with it. Listen, is there some kind of nut running around up there doing this kind of thing? The policeman from there who called me told me about some other things like this that have been happening, Theobald said. He said he had spoken with Cincinnati Police Homicide Squad Commander Lieutenant Daniel Cash, who told him there may be some connection between his daughter's killing and the murders of other Cincinnati women. Other young Cincinnati women. I'm not revengeful or anything, but I just hope they get this guy so he doesn't do this to someone else. Detective Captain Tom Deaton of the Butler County Sheriff's Department said positive identification was established Wednesday afternoon through dental charts of the missing girl. Theobald, who now runs a clinic in Florida, said his two other children, aged 21 and 20, who shared an apartment with Nancy, also aided in the investigation. He said the sweater and ring the dead girl was wearing were described to them over the phone, and they recognized them. The two children are in Florida with him on a holiday. The sweater had Nancy's initials on it. So it ends up being her. Deaton said the Sheriff Department is correlating its investigative efforts in this case with Union Township. The body was found about 2:30 p.m. Sunday in a creek bed west of Beckett Road near Westchester by Clyde Rupp, a farmer who owns the property, officers said. Let me try this. I wonder if good old Clyde still has he probably lived there forever. Clyde Rupp. $101, that sounds about right. Westchester, Ohio, and address. Oh, that's 0. Man, that sucks. But he passed away in 1987 in Butler, Ohio, so they just didn't have his address in there. Darn it. That's too bad. He might have an obituary in the newspaper, though, and you'd actually get his address. So that's what we could do is www.newspapers.com, Clyde Rupp, 1987, Ohio. And here's something. 6050 Beckett Road, Westchester, Ohio. That's his property. So that is his property. 6050 Beckett Road, Westchester. And there he is, Clyde Rupp, right there. So definitely, that's his property. Okay. Officers said the girl's face was partially mutilated, apparently by animals and the weather. Deaton said the body was clothed and a length of rope was found around the victim's neck. There was no wallet or conventional identification at the scene. Tentative identification was established Tuesday on the basis of a missing person report filed with Cincinnati police by the girl's brother. Filed by the, it's hard to read that. Filed with Cincinnati police by the girl's brother. Discovery of the body marked the 12th case of a violent death of a young woman found in a remote area of the tri-state since 1975. Most of the others, however, were found nude. Theobald said he and his family would leave for Cincinnati as soon as police released the body. Until then, he said, he could not make funeral arrangements. That's the father right there. Yeah, so anyways, apparently this is the property. So, you know, was there a creek right around in that area? I just had it right there because one went right under it and it was an actual creek. But that looks like, you know, it could even be the same sort of water went like this and went this way and that way. And maybe it runs through here. Oh, well, this might be him. So I think this does have it in there. 1906. Oh. So here is where they start talking about, look at all these other 2.5-year toll of female murder victims now stands at 16. The weekend discovery of the partially clad body of 19-year-old University of Cincinnati co-ed along a lonely road in Loveland Springs to 16, the number of area females who have met similar fates within the last 2.5 years. Half the cases, at least tentatively, have been solved. The other half remain mysterious. Loveland Police Chief Robert Jordan said Sunday investigators are expecting preliminary autopsy results sometime today in the case of Cheryl Thompson. Okay, well, Cheryl Thompson is the one that there was semen found that led to Ralph Howell. Okay, so Ralph Howell's semen was found in Cheryl Thompson, who, and this is 1978 right here, and that just recently led to him being identified as the killer, even though he died in 1985. Isn't that wild? So here's a case by Case History of the Death. Cheryl Thompson, 198312, Worcester Park, Plainville, a University of Cincinnati student, was reported missing March 24th. Her partially clothed body, apparently strangled, was discovered Saturday along the bank of the Little Miami River in Loveland. Lisa Jansen, 12, of 7032 Cambridge Avenue, Columbia Township, a 6th grader of Cure of Ars School, was reported missing Wednesday. Her body was found Thursday near Walton, Kentucky, in rural Boone County. She was apparently shot to death during a rape. I think that's unrelated. Kentucky State Police have issued a murder warrant specifying the death penalty against Eugene W. Gall, 31, of 328 Danville Park, Hillsborough. Huh. So I guess maybe that's probably another serial killer. I think there's like, let me see. Is Eugene Gall a serial killer? Let's see. Although Gall was a violent serial rapist with severe mental issues, on April 12th, the Ohio Parole Board decided to grant him parole. Gall had served just over 5 years of his 20-year maximum prison sentence. So, I don't know. But man, I guess you wouldn't want to live in Cincinnati anywhere near this time. Because there was also Ralston. And then we have Charmaine Stola, 17. This is the one we talked about last night. 1168 Overlook Avenue, Price Hill, was reported missing February 23rd. Miss Stola's body was found March 13th in a snowbank next to a shack off the closed portion of Old Coleraine Pike, Coleraine Township. She died of apparent strangulation and was sexually assaulted. Nancy Ann Theobald, that's who we're talking about today. We already went through that one. Then Diane Sue McRobbie, 16 of 10057 McKelvey Road, Springfield Township, disappeared. So I kind of want to go through these articles on each one of them too, just to kind of... Disappeared on an unspecified date. Her skeletal remains were found covered by brush near Batavia in Claremont County, October 22nd, 1977. And there it is. Larry Ralston, 28, Norwood, has been charged in connection with that death. Elaine Bear, 15, of 1856, Chase Avenue, Northside, was reported missing January 15, 1977. Her body apparently strangled, was found near Wilmington, Clinton County, February 28, 1977. Ralston is charged in connection with that death. Nancy Grigsby, 23, of 863 Meadow Ridge Drive, Withamsville, Claremont County, was reported missing May 9, 1976. Her remains were discovered November 15, 1976 in Jackson Township, Claremont County. Ralston has been charged in connection with that death. And just keep in mind, this is not Ralph Howell, who's another serial killer who was living in the same area at the same time. Victoria Hincher, 24, that's one of the ones we just did today, disappeared October 24th. Her nude body was found apparently strangled October 31st. Dorothy Sullivan, 18, of 1537 Republic Street, over the Rhine, disappeared at an unspecified date. She was found in an Anderson Township gravel pit August 28, 1976. The case was solved with the arrest and of manslaughter conviction of Earl M. Elder. Well, let's look him up. Earl M. Elder. It doesn't look like he's in there. God, what the hell's going on? Linda Dyer, 15, of 1720 Waltham Avenue, North College Hill, disappeared August 21st after she left for a party in Northside. Her body, with stab wounds and signs of strangulation, was found August 24th, 1976, off Rural Bank Road in Coleraine Township. I think she is a victim of Ralston as well. Mary Ruth Hopkins, 21, of 4449 Eastern Avenue, East End, was reported missing on June 29, 1976. Her nude body was found strangled in Anderson Township. Ralston is charged in connection with the death. Carol Sue Claber, 16, of 414 Warner Drive, Fort Wright, was reported missing on an unspecified date. Her partially clad body, apparently the victim of beating with a blunt instrument, was found June 5th, 1976 in Boone County. Yeah, that one's a little different too. The nude body of an unidentified woman, found 25, was found in the Grant County, Kentucky community of Crittenden, April 17, 1976. So she's unidentified. I wonder if that's still... Susan Gorman, 19, of 3565 Outlook Drive, Hyde Park, was kidnapped Thanksgiving Day, 1975. Her strangled body was found December 3rd, 1975 in Pendleton County, Kentucky. John Boyd, then 49, Middletown, was convicted of her death. So who's John Boyd? It's just... I don't know, man. How many killers are there out there that do the same shit? Linda K. Harmon, 17, of 1417 Victor Street, Forestville, was reported missing September 2nd, 1975. Thank you, Simple Life Days. Her nude body was discovered October 4th, 1975 in Claremont County. Ralston has been charged in connection with the death. Cora Ellen Duran, also known as Tanya Ellen King, 27, whose address was given as Brotherton Road. Oakley was missing since an unspecified date. Her nude body, apparently strangled, was found June 20th, 1975, near Mason. Man, isn't that crazy? All those women, and a whole bunch of them were Ralston, and 3 or 4 of these are believed to be from Ralph Howell, the most unscary sounding serial killer name you've ever heard. But
Because Gray cares about all cases he covers.
well, thank you. Which one was that? Was that this one? No. This one? Oh yeah, so then we got one from 2000. There's not much in it. Just more investigation reopened. One sunny afternoon a few months ago, Charles King saw 3 young women walking down a Price Hill street talking and laughing. The happy scene sent a jolt of pain through his heart. He couldn't help but see the pretty face of his 22-year-old daughter, who was strangled 18 years ago. I kept thinking Tammy should be one of those girls having a good time. Since the grim discovery of Tammy Lynn King's nude body in a wooded area in Butler County on November 13, 1982, Mr. King and other family members have endured frequent reminders of her unsolved slaying. They often occur at unexpected moments. The recent reopening of Mrs. King's murder investigation by the Butler County Sheriff's Department has brought the family both heartache and hope. See, these are the ones that Tammy Lynn King, Victoria Hincher, Nancy Ann Theobald, and that's the detective Kermit Vincil down there. Thank you, Tina Susser. What's this? All right, and there's a guy. I don't know if this is a blog or what this is, but it's by Mark Hoover, ClaremontSun.com. So it's not a long one. So this is the last thing on here. One of Cincinnati's most troubling homicide involved the murder of a brilliant 18-year-old University of Cincinnati student named Nancy Theobald. While attending college, Nancy worked at an Arby's restaurant that once stood on 263 Calhoun Street in Cincinnati. On November 16, 1977, Nancy finished her shift and left before 11 p.m. She didn't drive and lived in a nearby apartment at 2971 Deckebach Avenue in Cincinnati with her brother and sister. On occasion, she would call her brother for a ride home. However, on this evening, she had walked home and then disappeared into the night. When Nancy didn't return home, her brother Michael called the Cincinnati Police Department to report her missing. So there's the Arby's, and she just lived right there. I mean, it's really a short walk. So let's see. I mean, if that's even a mile. Well, basically you have to go like this. Hold on. The distance to walk would be more like that. So, 1.13 miles, maybe 15 minutes at the most. Probably would have walked like this and then taken a left and gone down like that. When Nancy didn't return home, her brother Michael called the Cincinnati Police Department to report her missing. According to him, he was concerned because his sister was reliable and would never leave the house without telling anyone. The police were concerned and took the disappearance seriously. Nancy graduated from Indian Hill High School in 1977. She was an honor student and a member of the National Honor Society. She had also studied abroad in France during her senior year. After graduation, she enrolled at the University of Cincinnati. She majored in finance.
Michael told the police his sister was an excellent student who took her education seriously. She had recently started working at Arby's. The police spoke with her co-workers. Their views were similar to her brother's. Nancy was a dependable worker who was well liked by her co-workers. The last time Michael saw his sister was before she went to work at Arby's. He expected to pick her up that evening, but she didn't call. Investigators asked Nancy's friend and co-workers if they knew where she had gone. After a week, Nancy's inner circle started to become increasingly worried. They knew she would never miss school or not contact her friends, family, or boyfriend. The police were never able to locate another who saw Nancy leave Arby's the evening she disappeared. Nancy's disappearance was solved on December 26, 1977, when a farmer discovered her body in Westchester, Ohio. The coroner gave few details about Nancy's death. He stated that she had been strangled and not sexually assaulted. Nancy's dental records would confirm her identity. Her father somehow knew his daughter was deceased because he knew she would never just walk away from life. Autopsy results revealed that she was strangled to death. Several women were murdered in Cincinnati in 1974. The deaths were believed to be the work of a serial killer. However, police had their doubts. Nancy's lifestyle did not fit with those of the other murdered victims who led questionable lifestyles. She lived a clean life. Drugs and risky behavior were not part of her lifestyle. Nancy may have been killed by a stranger who knew her schedule and watched her. 3 different police agencies worked together to find Nancy's killer. In her case, investigators were unable to determine whether she was killed where her body had been found or whether she died elsewhere. Today, the case remains unsolved. After about 50 years, police have interviewed several potential suspects, but no arrests have been made. In 2018, a cold case team decided to revisit the case. Nancy's brother, Joseph, revealed that his sister had been raped and brutally beaten before her death. These details were not revealed publicly. See how they don't say that in the news? Like in this case that's going on in Idaho, there very well could be a sexual assault that they're keeping under wraps at this point, because they did that. Every article said that she was fully clothed and she hadn't been assaulted, but now we know that's different. In researching the unsolved case, I discovered that police had been unable to collect some DNA samples. It is likely that the blood of Nancy's sweater belonged to her murderer. Unfortunately, her parents didn't live long enough to find out who killed their beloved daughter, but her siblings continue to fight for justice. Yeah, well, it sounds like they believe it is Ralph Howell, based on the new articles that are out there. So anyways, it's a good article there, Mark Hoover. I'll put the links in the description. Normally I have them before the show, but my mind was elsewhere. So, anyways, that's it for the, isn't that crazy, you guys? I'm sort of wondering about Beitelman, though, a little bit. Hers is sort of similar in a way. Yeah. So I don't have any more to do on those cases right there. So I don't know. Now we're back up to the 3D model in the Idaho case. Hold on, let me check something out real quick. Oh, yeah. Yeah, somebody tried to do something similar. What do you mean it's interactive? I didn't make the roof. There wasn't any. The ceilings aren't really vaulted. They just have the slants for the rain to come off. Yeah, it's kind of similar. Yeah, I mean, I have a bunch of stuff I was going to put in there from the other program that I used. I mean, not the other program, the other case that I made a whole house of. You know, there's a dishwasher and the stoves and everything. I mean, it adds element of reality to it. Does anybody have any new thoughts on that case? Because I could just make tonight a little bit shorter than normal. I've been doing such long shows lately. I'm kind of tired. You don't have to. Oh, cool. Well, good, Rennie. Yeah, I mean, I don't want anybody sending super chats or whatever if it affects their life. You know, like, oh wow, you know, when I sent that in, I'm not going to be able to buy milk or food, and I'm going to struggle. You know, do something. Use it, keep it for yourself. But if you can afford it and you want to help the channel out, then that'd be great. Yeah, I mean, the boyfriend of Kaylee, I won't say his name, he, you know, in my opinion, he still just technically fits in every single element that you might picture. He's not weak like people think either. You know, like he's some weak, you know, he's a tennis player, he's pretty good, I guess, and, you know, he does things. And you know, he isn't weak like you're assuming. Thanks, Moofies. Welcome, Rennie. I mean, does anybody have anything that they want to talk about on this case? Because it seems like it's just kind of the same thing over and over again. People are theorizing now. You know, the normal YouTubers that are now starting to cover it extensively, and you know, like we've been covering it since it began, basically. You know, maybe 2 days in, I'd already been emailed it like 3 times, and finally we started looking at it, and we've just been going over it since the beginning, and that's it. But you ever notice that there's some that just wait for it to get really big and then they jump in? It's weird. I mean, anybody can do whatever they want to do. It's just strange. Yeah. Yeah. I think it just makes sense to me, and I'm not a profiler, and neither are some people who claim they're profilers. You know, let's do if you take the roof off, man, that's hard to say it like that. Just look at it. You know, they go through this door right here. They come up these stairs, and what reason would they then have to go over here to Zaina and Ethan's room? They come up those stairs, they would immediately, if they knew where Madison and Kaylee live right away, wouldn't they, and they were the targets, like one of them, wouldn't they just come up the stairs, take a hard right, and then go right through there? You can actually see the stairs right there. You would go through there, and then you come up the stairs, and you go into, see, it's higher, see, look at right there. You go into Madison and Kaylee were probably in the same room because Kaylee had already moved out and was just coming back to show a vehicle, wouldn't have a bed, so, you know, likely would just share the bed in Madison's room. So they go in there. The killer kills them and then leaves the same way you would go down the stairs. You almost necessarily have to go down these stairs to get to them because they're on the 3rd floor. Not necessarily, Gray. They could have rappelled. Right. Okay, well, I guess that's possible. Or maybe they just jumped out. You know, those kids these days, they can... So then you go down these steps again. And once you get down to the bottom of the steps, it actually leads to below. There's a hallway that goes to the kitchen. So when you go through this door right here, I don't know if you can see that. Right? Oops. Now right in there, if you take a right, see, look, if you go right down there, see that there's a door right there, and then just to the right of that, you can almost see into the kitchen from right there. There's a kitchen right over there, and then you would go out the sliding glass door. Right, yeah, so he jumped off the 3rd floor, yeah. Right, yeah, exactly, yeah. So if you missed the beginning of it, if you go back to the beginning, this is the... Here. Well, heck, I'll just show you what this camera's doing the first time. Watch. Okay? So there's the camera. Pretend that's a person walking. Goes in. Now let me make it so you can see it. Person comes in, and actually have them look around below there. Then goes up the stairs. Turns. Then goes to Jana and Ethan's room. Comes around. Takes a right. And then it's... Now you're underneath... Or you're doing a drop down to 1 foot to 2B. And then it actually goes up the stairs over here. You'll see it coming up. See that? There it is. Come up the stairs and then goes into Madison and Kaylee's room. Right there. And then from the eye of the camera, it's like this. Up. Around. And right here, if I want, I could just let me rotate that. And that's the kitchen right over here. That's the sliding glass door that you can just barely see right there. Okay, but instead, let's just have them go upstairs first to, second to, this is Kaylee and Madison's room with the sliding glass door on the 3rd floor. And that's it. That's where I have it in. So hopefully that was easier to understand when I did it showed you how that worked. I mean, a possible idea of entrance or exit. I don't know. If it's too crazy, I don't want to. Oh yeah, they could have climbed with a ladder, got in over the fence, and. Hey, thank you so much, Bama Forever, on PayPal there. Yeah, I don't see an email from you. Rocky Rocks, I don't know. Don't see anything, Rocky Rocks. Do you have a different name on there? Yeah, what difference does it make, though, Cindy Leon? If he moved into that room, and what would make True Crime Recliner know more than anybody else in here? Just curious. But what would make you think that, like, that's where Kaylee's room was, and then Madison moved in there? And either way, what difference would it make? Because Kaylee had already moved out, right? Like, she was gone. So if somebody was in there to get Madison, then it wouldn't really matter, right? I mean, I'm just trying to figure out what difference does that make in the case. What's behind that door? Perhaps the killer's true identity. There were beds in there. Jesus, you guys are... Yeah, I don't see anything with the name country in there. Yeah, no. You must have sent it to the wrong place. GRAYHUZE2 at gmail.com. Yeah. Yeah, probably will take an early one. I think the options are: you come to the sliding glass door, you go upstairs first, then you go all the way down and kill Zaina and Ethan. I guess you could go through the sliding door, kill Ethan and Zaina, then go all the way back up again. I mean, then you would go not all the way back up again, but you go up to the third floor second. I mean, don't most people think, like if I did a poll, let's do a poll here. Alright, here we go. Here's your poll for the night. Where'd you go, Cindy Lynn? I'm just wondering what difference does it make, that part, if that's true, like she moved in there. Yeah, see, I think it's going to be... I think it's Zaina and Ethan were killed first. That's what I think. Yeah, I think they were killed first. Makes more sense no matter how you look at it, you know? I mean, you if you knew that he was there, you'd probably want to take out the mail and anybody else quietly down there first, then go up. If the killer thought was her room. Yeah, but what difference would it make, Cindy? They were both in the same room, right? Because there was only one room that had furniture in it. So even if they went to the other room first, it wouldn't really matter, right? I mean, there's 2 rooms upstairs. See, like right over here. There's another room right over here in the corner. And, you know, maybe they went over there first. I still haven't put the door in over there. But I do have the windows put in now. That's good. Hey, thanks, Amy Fountain. Alright, so it's 60% think Zaina and Ethan. Okay. There we go. I'm going to stop that poll now. If it takes you that long to answer it, forget it. Okay, here's a new one. Did the killer intend to kill all four when entering the house? See, I think they did. I think what proves that is how out of the way Ethan and Zana were, and they were all sleeping. So everybody forgets that part. See, even like people like LMM, who are never really correct on any of these cases, like she was in the Debbie Collier. Remember the, let's see. Like, there'd be absolutely no reason to go to the Zana and Ethan's room. Okay? There'd be absolutely no reason. Well, I gotta, yeah, look, LM's gonna get paid back for my treatment during Debbie Collier for a long time, I can tell you that. It's all just in jest, though. Yeah, I think they went in there to, yeah, they were going to kill all four of those people. Yeah. Well, I don't know why the other two downstairs, people seem to want to say that it's because the doors were locked. And if the doors were locked, let's say they were intended, but the doors were locked and he couldn't get in their room. I don't know, man. I think if somebody was trying to break into your room, they might have called 911 or somebody. That they didn't call anybody that night. They just locked their doors. Does that make any sense? All right. So I don't know. It feels like, so there's like an enigma here where you look at it and you say, okay, there were 6 people, 4 were killed, 2 of them had their doors locked, but there's also difference too in the fact that they got home at 1 o'clock and everyone else got home between 1:45 and 1:56. And those are the 4 that were killed, the ones that got home later. Was there another reason that those 4 were killed later and not merely because the door was locked? Was it somebody who was in the home, saw them, you know, maybe made a threat of some sort? They were really angry. They came back, had to kill all the 4 people that heard the threat because they know that they would have revealed who that person was. I mean, who knows? But maybe they had a goal of killing one person there. So this pulls over. Okay, so it was... did the killer intend to kill all 4 when entering the house? Yes, 61. No, 39. Okay. Here's another one. Okay. Yeah, so I asked this one. Were the 2 survivors not killed because they locked their doors or weren't part of another event later? Like, they weren't present later. You know, something else is the reason those 4 were killed. But you always got to remember that they are believed to be sleeping. So that means that all 4 of them felt comfortable enough to, go to sleep, maybe not even lock their doors. Is gray so mean, or is gray so mean? That's only one choice, though. Yeah. Why not, Cindy Leon? Why not, man? What are you? Type it in, Cindy. What is your thought here? Yeah, I never got that email from regarding whatever it was up. Don't have it. The only reason they survived was because their door was locked. Well, I didn't ask you to type in the sentence, Annabelle. I said to answer the poll up there. And that might not be why at all, right? I think it's strange that so two girls were downstairs, and they apparently locked their doors, by the way, everybody, when they started hearing stuff. So when was that stuff? Was that at 3 in the morning when they locked their doors? So that means their doors might not have been locked early, because why would you lock it? You've got the keypad down there, and so maybe they didn't have their doors locked early, but then locked them later. So that would actually take out I'd like to know the time that they locked the doors. I don't think they locked the door at 1 o'clock. I think they locked the doors later when they heard commotion. Do we know if the girls heard? Well, they definitely heard something. And we don't know. They're being really vague on the two surviving people. It could be that there's more information they just don't want to release, because they say they got home at 1 and woke up in the morning. Really? I mean, what about, okay, so they got home at 1 and, they got ready for bed. What time did they go to bed? And there's early on they were saying that they heard noises and locked their doors. I mean, what time was that at? I think we're missing parts that they don't want to tell us that might give away too much information. Something like that. Yeah, it might not have ever gone to that would be another reason too. Geographically, he comes in the second floor and checks all the rooms and only kills the people that are in the rooms that he sees. Right? So he comes in through the sliding glass door on the second floor, right over here, walks in there. But those chairs are there, Gray. Right, don't you think law enforcement put those chairs there? Because it is a sliding glass door and you need dowels. They probably didn't have a dowel, so they used those chairs to do it. Makes sense. Mm-hmm. Now the house is nuts, though. But you really, it's hard to avoid noticing how out of the way Zaina and Ethan are over here for just sort of a smooth entry from either way. Okay, you come in through the sliding glass door down here. You just, so it looks similar to this, right? So just assume this is a floor below. They come out. They would just go up the stairs and then go into this room here. And you kill them, and then you go down the stairs and exit. Instead, we have these other two people that are killed in such a random place that it's out of the way for both. So if you came in with the keypad, wouldn't it make more sense to come in, go up the stairs, go straight through, up the stairs to to Madison and Kaylee's room. I might have said the wrong room a minute ago. Right there, right? Instead, you come up the stairs, go all the way back 180 degrees back into this room, then maybe go that way. Or you went up there first and then came back down here and exited. There's a lot of different ways, right? A lot of different ways. Well, that might have just been something that was released, Marty. It might have even been accidentally. Because remember, there was people saying that, oh my God, they were over at these hardware, these hunting shops asking about a K-bar knife. So they probably had to come forward and say, yeah, we were looking for one of those. So I don't think it was something they intentionally left out there. But anyways, if you guys could hit the like button, that'd be great. And if not, go to hell. We've got the... I'm just kidding. God, Gray, that's so mean. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's gonna do it for me tonight, you guys. I'm gonna keep working on these little animations, and then I'm gonna render it out. It looks a lot better when it's rendered. Let me show you. Even that looks better. Well, that looks crappy. You need to have the lights in there. I got rid of the lights for now. This floor needs to be raised or something. No. Nope, that's it. Alright, well, thank you to... I think I have everybody on here. To Kathy Friedmaker, Viv Photography, Zozo paying off her bet. Thank you. Caligal 3, Shayna 360, Terry Shaw, Dobby Smith, Being Nancy, Maxine Van Dyke, Maxine Van Date, Allie Cake, Georgina Stoliker, SV Kathy, Liz, Cindy Lynn, Whimsical Me, Annabelle Stell, Tosh, Zozo with more of her bet. I think that does it, right? Garden Girl 9, Shelly Pink, Olivia Dorado, Full Sendington became a new member, Anna, Mama 457 Rose, CC, Melanie, Renergy, Colleen Dahman, LMM, Renergy, T-Cell Logic, Colleen Dahman, Jara Books, Jacera Books, Tosh, LMM, Tina Susser, Mama 457 Rose, Loretta Reyes, Simple Life Days, Cindy Leon, Tina Susser, Moofies, Rennie, Satan, Mama 457 Rose, and Amy Fountain have been there for 7 months. Yeah, consider becoming a channel member. That'd be great. Awesome. All right, and then also on PayPal we had I think it's Sarah Terry. It's funny, she spells it as it totally wrong, differently spelled on her PayPal. Sarah Terry. It's sent you. So you want a signed notebook? I think I might have like one or something left. Let me. And then Bama Forever. And Ms. Angels. Oh, and also Renee Olesko. Thank you very much. Okay, I think I got everybody in here. You gonna auction off? Yeah. Okay, we're gonna do two. Let's see. We'll do a wow, just wow mug, or wow, just wow, and ooh ooh ooh. The ooh 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 mug. Okay, that's what we're gonna do. Nobody buys that one, so I'm gonna do that one. Oh yeah, cool. Awesome. Does it look pretty cool, Terry? All right, here we go. Know what? All right, here it is. This is for Wow, Just Wow. Miss Angels. All right. All right, here we go, here we go, here we go. This is ooh, ooh, ooh. Boy, it's gonna cost an arm and a leg to ship it off to Australia, but it's worth it. Miss Angels. Dobby Smith wins the ooh, ooh, ooh mug. All right. Yep, that's it, you guys. So thank you all for being here tonight. Really appreciate it. Thanks for the support. And hey, we did sort of an old school-ish show tonight, right? With the old cold cases and definitely a couple of serial killers working their way through the Cincinnati area there. Yeah, they do know something. All right. So we'll see you guys tomorrow. And yeah, I appreciate everybody being here and supporting the channel, doing what you guys do. And yeah, I need to go get some water now. So see you tomorrow, and as I always say, everybody, until next time, be safe out there. And a 2, and a 3, and a 4, and a 5, and a 6. Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now. And during this whole time, I have not seen one person.
Not even one girl?
Not even
Crime
one.
dissector, plug rejector. I'm a certified human lie detector. Gonna get ya on a stretcher if you try and play me like an old projector. Crime sector is my nectar. Professor Greg is gonna give another lecture. Crime collector, freak connector, and I'm always gonna be a pup protector. Fool deflector, interceptor, and I'm meaner than a spectre with a vector on his pector. With all respect, y'all. Just remember, I've a temper fucking check ya. I have no agenda. I'm a pretender.
His name isn't Gary, isn't Larry, isn't Terry, isn't Gary, isn't Carrie, isn't Larry. Isn't Larry, isn't Carrie, isn't Terry. His name isn't Larry, it ain't Gary, Carrie, or Jerry, or Mary. It's Gray. All right, everybody, see you guys later.
Hey, that was pretty funny, Mary Lou. Wow, that was, you actually had a little bit of humor there. Yeah, people call me Gary, Greg, Never Larry, though. I'm not sure why you said that. Well, it rhymed with Gary, I would suppose that's why you said that.
No doy, Gray, no doy.
No doy, oh my God. All right. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Man, no doy, jeez.
Goodbye, everybody. No doy.
Oh man, please. I'd rather have you say Jay 100 times than say no doy, okay? That was funny in Dodgeball, wasn't it? Man, that was good. All right, see you guys later.